Hello guys, this is Bhavya Sharma here and today I'm back with another video on humerus bone anatomy. In this video, we are going to talk about the humerus bone features, and in the next coming video, we will be talking about the muscle attachments and the clinical anatomy of the humerus bone. So, before starting the video, I would like to tell you about the notes. The notes would be uploaded after the third part is uploaded of the video. The notes would be uploaded in the Instagram page. The link for my Insta page would be there in the description. So please go and check that out. Also, if you have any doubts or any queries or anything, please let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, let's get started now. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know about the humerus bone is it is a long bone, and the long bone is divided into three parts. Okay, whenever we study about long bone, it is studied into three parts. That is, it has three parts in its body. That is the upper end, the shaft, and the lower end. Now when we are reading the features, or when we are going through the features of the humerus bone, we will go through the features of each of the parts of the long bone, that is our humerus bone. So starting with the upper end, we have the first most important feature, that is your head. The head is spherical in shape and is directed medially. The another importance of head is it forms the articulation of the shoulder joint. That is, the head of the humerus articulates with the glenoid cavity of the scapular bone and forms the shoulder complex. The scapular bone anatomy has been already uploaded. I will upload the link in the description. You can check it out. Then the another feature that we observe in the upper end is the neck. The humerus bone consists of three necks. The first one is your anatomical neck, that is this one. It separates the head from the other remaining parts of the upper end. Then we go for the surgical neck, that is this point here. And the third one is the morphological neck, which is also surrounded by the epiphyseal line. The other thing that we can observe here is, that is the one more important feature, that is the tubercles. Okay, we have two tubercles in the upper end. The lesser tubercle, which is smaller and present medially, and the greater tubercle, which is larger and present laterally. So what did I say? We have two tubercles, the lesser tubercle and the greater tubercle. Lesser tubercle is smaller in size and the greater tubercle is larger in size. This is all about the features of the upper end. Now let's talk about the shaft. In the shaft, we have three borders and three surfaces. Okay, when we see, let me place it like this. See, when you see this, the first border that you can see is the anterior border. Okay, and when you see this side, there will be a lateral border. See, you can see very clearly here that the lateral border is prominent more in the lower end. This thick ridged part is the lateral border, this one. And then if you see this side, you will have the medial border. Let me repeat it again. The anterior border, the lateral border, which is more prominent in the lower end, and the medial border. And then talking about the surfaces, we have the anterolateral surface between the anterior and lateral border. We have the anteromedial surface between the anterior and medial border. And if we go posteriorly, we have the posterior surface between the medial and lateral border. So that is all about the features of the shaft. Now we will go through the features of the lower end. In the lower end, the features are divided into two parts. The first one is non-articular parts and articular parts. First, let us talk about the articular parts. See, by articular parts, I mean that they are the parts that articulate with some other bone to form a joint articulation. Okay, let me tell that clearly. Now, we have two articular parts. One is your rounded and smooth capitulum, which is present in the lateral side. See, this is the lateral side. So, it is present in the lateral side. See, you can see this is the lateral side. So, capitulum is an articular part of the lower end that is present in the lateral side. When we talk about the another articular part, it is the trochlea. The trochlea is present in the medial side of the lower end. Now, talking about the articulation of the capitulum and the trochlea. See, you must be already knowing that humerus articulates with radius and ulna to form the elbow joint. So, let's now talk about the articulation. The capitulum articulates with the head of the radius bone, whereas the trochlea articulates with the trochlear notch of the ulnar bone. Now, when we talk about the non-articulating parts, the first one is the medial epicondyle, which is larger, the lateral epicondyle, which is smaller than the medial epicondyle. And then we have two ridges. On the lateral side, we have a thick, prominent ridge, which is known as the lateral supracondylar ridge. And similarly, on the medial side, we have the medial supracondylar ridge. Then, when we talk about fossas, in the lower end, we have three fossae present. Two fossae are present anteriorly and one fossa is present posteriorly. So, when we talk about the two fossas present anteriorly, the first one is the coronoid fossa that is present above the anterior aspect of the trochlea, that is in the medial side. And the other fossa is the radial fossa that is present above the anterior aspect of the capitulum, that is, it is directed towards the lateral side. And the third fossa that is present in the posterior side is a deep, very easily visible fossa, which is also known as your olecranon fossa. Okay, so let me revise the whole bone fast. First, talking about the head or the upper end actually. Head is round and medially directed. We have two tubercles, lesser tubercle, greater tubercle, and yeah, we also have a sulcus or a groove present in between the two tubercles, that is the intertubercular sulcus or the sulcus of long head of biceps, that is bicipital groove. Why it is known as bicipital groove is because it gives passage for the tendon of long head of biceps brachii. Then when we talk about the neck, we have three neck in the upper end: the anatomical neck, the surgical neck, and the morphological neck. Talking about the shaft, it has three borders and three surfaces: the anterior border, the lateral border, prominent more in the lower end, and the medial border. Talking about the surfaces, we have anterolateral surface in between the anterior and lateral border. We have anteromedial surface in between the anterior and medial border. And we have the posterior surface in between the medial and lateral border. Now when we talk about the lower end, we have two articular parts, that is the capitulum articulating with radial head and the trochlea articulating with the trochlear notch of the ulna. Then we talk about the non-articular parts, the medial epicondyle. See, you see like this, the medial epicondyle which is larger and the lateral epicondyle which is smaller. We talk about the fossas here. The coronoid fossa present medially above the trochlea, the radial fossa present laterally above the capitulum. At the posterior side, we have the olecranon fossa. We also have two ridges present. On the lateral side, we have the lateral ridge, and on the medial side, we have the medial ridge. So guys, that is all about the humerus bone features. In the next video, we would be talking about the muscle attachments and the clinical anatomy. Hope it was helpful and it was clear. If any doubts, comment down in the comment section below. Also, do tell me if you want me to make any other topic video ASAP. Also, please, as always, like, share and subscribe. Keep supporting, and yeah, stay safe, stay home.